Imagine cutting open a cable no thicker than your finger and inside it. Not just videos, not just websites, not just messages, but almost the entire internet, flowing through strands of glass thinner than a human hair. So how is that possible? How can something as gigantic as the internet fit inside a cable? The answer sounds impossible, because the internet isn't actually made of information, it's made of light. Most people imagine the internet as some magical cloud floating somewhere above Earth, but the cloud is mostly just a convenient name. In reality, the internet is a gigantic physical machine made of millions of servers, enormous data centers, billions of devices, and most importantly, millions of kilometers of cables connecting everything together. In fact, the vast majority of international internet traffic travels through cables laid across the ocean floor, not satellites. These submarine cables connect continents and form the backbone of the modern internet. If you could somehow see all of them at once, Earth would look like it's wrapped in an enormous web stretching across the planet. Now here's where things get weird. When people hear internet cable, they often imagine copper wires carrying electricity. But the fastest and most important internet connections use fiber optic cables. Inside these cables are strands of incredibly pure glass, thinner than a human hair, and instead of sending electricity, they send light. Yes, actual light. Tiny pulses of laser light race through the glass at roughly 200,000 kilometers per second. Think of a flashlight blinking on and off. Now imagine that happening billions of times every second. Each pulse represents digital information, the ones and zeros computers use to communicate. Every video you watch, every message you send, every website you visit is converted into these incredibly fast flashes of light. But here's the really incredible part. How can one tiny strand of glass carry so much information? Imagine a highway with only one lane. It can carry only so many cars before traffic becomes a problem. Engineers found a way to create more lanes without making the cable bigger. They send multiple wavelengths of light through the same fiber at the same time. You can think of these wavelengths as different colors of light, each carrying its own stream of information. One color might be carrying a video call, another an online game, another a movie stream, all traveling through the same tiny fiber simultaneously without getting mixed together. Instead of one lane, the fiber suddenly has dozens or even hundreds of invisible lanes, and each lane can carry enormous amounts of data. Now scale that up to the cables lying on the ocean floor. Modern submarine cables contain multiple optical fibers, and each fiber can carry terabits of data every second. A terabit is 1 trillion bits. That's enough capacity to support massive amounts of internet traffic moving between continents every moment of every day. Which brings us back to the original question, does the entire internet actually fit inside a cable? Not exactly. The internet itself isn't stored inside the cable. The cable is more like a highway. A highway doesn't contain every car in the world, it simply allows cars to travel from one place to another. Internet cables work the same way. They don't contain the entire internet, they carry the traffic. The movement of information, the flow of videos, messages, searches, downloads, and conversations constantly moving between devices around the globe. And because light can carry such enormous amounts of data, a cable small enough to hold in your hand can transport a staggering amount of the world's digital activity. So the next time someone asks how the internet fits into a cable, the internet doesn't fit inside the cable. The cable becomes the road, and on that road, flashes of light race through strands of glass connecting billions of people across an entire planet.